What's up, everybody? Welcome to another video. Today, I'm finishing Unit 3, Level 3, or Phase 3 of Mandarin Blueprint today. I've kind of come to the realization that I can dabble in languages and things like that, but at the end of the day, Mandarin and Spanish are basically just where I'm at. Those are the two languages that I care about the most, and that's what I always come back to. Greek was great. I spent probably 4 months studying Greek, and I really enjoyed it, but it basically just made me hungry to get back to Mandarin and, continue my Spanish. With finishing Phase 3 of Mandarin Blueprint, I want to talk about this for a minute because I've been going back and forth with it. I've been using it, I can't even tell you how long, but it's been almost a year since I've used it regularly, and I've been using it again for about 2 weeks regularly. But at the end of Phase 3, I will know 351 words. I know more words than this, but this is just what they've taught so far. 351 words, and that'll be a combination of 263 characters to make those words, which is really, really fantastic. And the way that breaks down a little bit, just some of these: 127 nouns, 93 verbs, 32 adverbs, 32 adjectives, 26 adverbs, 17 pronouns, 11 measure words. It is what it is. So it's really, really good. It's helping me. I've been listening to some stuff lately. The thing I like about Mandarin Blueprint is what I can do is they actually have to where you can download the audio from, they have sample sentences for each unit that when you get sample sentences, and you can actually download for Phase 3, you can download, it's 24 minutes of audio of sample sentences from those words. So if you put that on your phone and you're driving down the road, that's 24 minutes of pure comprehensible input to get better at hearing those sentences. And if you don't know something, you can type it in, because it's all words that you're familiar with. So you'll be able to hear them, learn how to hear them better. Oh man, I don't quite understand what they're saying there, but you can type it in because you know what words are being used. And I think that that's really, really cool. I'm really happy with this. I'm really happy to start Phase 4 on Mandarin Blueprint, which I think gets into the intermediate stage. And the cool thing about that is it starts introducing you to graded readers that they've made based on the characters that you've learned, which is an absolute incredible thing. And so I'm going to try to get into that. The biggest thing is I'm not, and I don't know if you've noticed this or not, you probably have, I've not been uploading a lot here lately. I've really been concentrated on getting this side thing started, or not even a side thing, it's a thing called John from Appalachia. If you'll remember, last year I started uploading some Appalachian content here, and it did really well. And I was like, man, there's kind of a market for this. So I don't want to stop talking about languages, so that's why I don't upload it here. But I have another channel called John from Appalachia, Jon from Appalachia. There's a Facebook page as well where I upload all the videos on Facebook as well. And so it's a way for me to showcase kind of the area that I'm from, Appalachia as a whole. And so that's taken a lot of my time. And then I've just been doing language learning on the side. I've been doing language learning as a hobby. I'm not spending all day on it or anything like that. And honestly, it makes you appreciate it a little bit more over the last couple of weeks, kind of getting back into it. And, we'll see how it goes. Who knows? You may take a bet with yourself and see if you, see how long you think I'll stick with this. That seems to be a pretty good bet. Or, play a drinking game where every time I swap languages, you can take a shot or something. I don't know. Whatever you got to do, make yourself happy. But so far, I'm really liking this, and there's some stuff that's, Mandarin just always calls to me. I always come back to it. You would think I would stop going away from it, but it's just my personality, man. I jump around. It's unfortunately what I do. I had a moment in April. Part of the reason that I started coming back to it was when I was in Ecuador last year with Xiaoma, we met another YouTuber named David who runs a channel called David's Been Here, and he does more cultural related stuff as well. And I said, man, you should come to where I live, because you don't have to go to a different country, man. Where I live, because I live in inner Appalachia. I'm in I'm in the dead center. It's like the heart of Appalachia where I live on like the West Virginia border. And I was like, come here. So he came up here, had a great time. He really loved the area, you know, showcased it, in which those videos aren't up yet, but I'm hoping they'll be up, you know, within the next little bit. And so we were in Blacksburg one day, Blacksburg, which is where Virginia Tech is, huge Asian population there, because I also wanted to take him around and be like, yeah, I mean, I know it's a college town, but I was like, it's a lot more diverse here than people want to give it credit for. Appalachia has this real weird name. But anyway, this all is leading to a point, by the way. I'm not just talking. And so we were down there, and like we went to a couple of Chinese restaurants, and you know, he said, or I think I said, I speak a little bit of Mandarin, or he said, don't you speak a little bit of Mandarin too, working with Xiao? And I said, I do. And so we went to a Chinese restaurant, and he had said ni hao to somebody, of course. And she was like, oh, you know, you speak a little bit. And he said, no, I don't, but this guy speaks a little bit. And so she was like, oh, wow. And so I spoke to her, and like she was just like, oh, God. And I was like, man, I really should work on this more. Like, you never know when it's going to come up. And then I was explaining to David, it may be in the video, it may not, but you know, like she was really impressed that I knew, you know, like you know, like if something's good, you know, the how sure, how huh, you know, like things like good drink, you know, delicious. It's delicious, but you don't use the same word delicious for something that tastes good versus something that tastes good that you're drinking, you know. And it was just a cool experience. And I was like, man, yeah, I gotta get back into that. Like I love it. And I love Chinese people, man. Chinese people are always so friendly when I try to talk to them and stuff. So that's part of what led it back. But you know, it's just I always find my way back. Mandarin's always a thing that I have interest in. Spanish as well. You know, Spanish, but Spanish is in a point where my comprehension for Spanish is pretty solid. Every other aspect of it is terrible. But yeah, with this I'm writing. I'm not using the Traverse system. Like I'm using Traverse, which is the flashcard system that Mandarin Blueprint uses in order to track your progress. I do that just so I have a reference to go back if I need help remembering a mnemonic or something. But what I've noticed about Mandarin Blueprint is even though it's been like a year-ish or so, maybe a little less than that, maybe 10 months since I've used it regularly, I remember it's like, if I quiz myself, probably 90% of what I remember. Now, the writing aspect, I might remember 80% of how to write characters, but probably 90 to 95% on if I see the character, I know what it is. So writing it from memory might be a little bit more of a struggle, but even 80% of the time, I don't think is a bad thing. And of course, once I get those reps back in my system, it'll be good. But generally speaking, I remember most of that. Most of the ones that I'm having trouble with are when I would come back for like a week and I would learn a couple things, and then I wouldn't really get that just muscle memory down, you know. But I'm using Scritter when I learn a word or learn a character or a word from Mandarin Blueprint. I put it into Scritter because I can take that with me. And with Scritter, I can either hold my fingers like this and rub it on my phone to where like I'm writing, or I can just use my thumb, but I'm still getting that writing practice. And then I have my flashcards on the go with me always. So if I go somewhere, I've got them there. Now I can use Mandarin Blueprint and stuff like that from an app. It's okay, but the problem is you're switching between so many screens, and when you come back to the app, it like has to refresh. You know, I don't really care much for that, but it is what it is. You could go through all of it and then go make your flashcards, but I like to do it as I'm going through, just to keep tabs on what I'm doing. I don't know if you've been able to tell this from me speaking, but I have a very hyperactive brain, so I can't like concentrate long enough. Like I would forget to do something. So it is what it is. But that's where I'm at, man. I'm feeling pretty good. I may go back to Greek at some point. Greek was great because, like I said, it was a nice thing for me to get into it, learn a little bit about the culture, find some great YouTubers and things like that, and really just refresh my brain and stuff like that for language learning. And honestly, I think that's the big thing, is going to a new language, making progress really, really fast. And then and it's just a very motivating thing. So, but that is where we're at right now. Loving my time doing Mandarin, and I don't think Mandarin and Spanish are probably just the rest of my life goals. Like those will be the core that I always come back to try and get to a place. And then, once I hit a bump in the road with these, I'll probably, try to learn Tagalog for a minute, and then I'll come back. You know what I mean? So we will carry on. But that is where I'm at right now. Just wanted to give you guys a brief update. And yeah, I think that's about it. everything's going good. I hope everything is going good with you guys. Let me know what you're studying down below. And yeah, that's it. I'll see you guys very, very soon.